Welcome to another edition of Insights with Ovationz. I'm your host, Aaron Ellis. Today I am joined with, I forgot to ask you how to pronounce your name.
It's Anja.
Anja. That's pretty easy, actually. Anja, and is it Zibert? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, it's okay. It's Zibert. It can
Good
be,
enough,
yeah.
right? Okay, so Anja is the founder of Free Spirit Human Capital, a human resources, or rather a human empowerment agency. Can't wait to unpack that. She is a disruptor, a heart math trainer, a tribe magician, and in the world of headhunters, she is a heart hunter. Welcome to Insights with Ovationz. How are you today?
Thank you very much, Aaron. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm great. I'm calling from, I'm here in Slovenia in green country, in the middle of Europe. And I always enjoy exchanging energies with somebody on the other side of the world. So
I literally, just before we went record, we didn't get a chance to really get to know each other, which I think it's going to be fun to do that on camera. But like I said, I just kind of went through and scanned you really quick over the last 10 minutes and just looking at what you're doing. It's so in line with what I've been doing for decades. And I love the way you're framing it. So I really want to start with some of these things that and how I introduced you. Like a human empowerment agency. I am so big on human empowerment. I have been speaking in corporations and also speaking to HR departments and whatnot and doing talent management and talent acquisition and all that kind of stuff. And I have a totally different perspective on it that I think aligns with yours. Now, I know this is a long-winded way to ask you a question, but what I'm really, really inspired by is how upfront you are about how you do what you do. You're talking about energy. You're talking about spirituality. You're talking about you're literally talking about spiritual awakening and stuff with organizations. And I got so excited and inspired reading about that. So I kind of want to just pass the mic to you and hear what led you to this and, whatever arises as far as what you're doing now, as far as in human empowerment.
yeah, thank you. So where should I start? I think everything started around 2005, but we're not going to go, back then. So it was 2016 when I started working as a headhunter in a corporate recruitment agency, corporate recruitment company. And, I was a headhunter. I was, there were a lot of money. There was a lot of money in this industry. And I was looking for people for companies, and it was, I don't know, we were selling people. And I really didn't resonate with that. At first, it was okay. It was good money and everything. But then also my spiritual awakening started, or like my personal transformation. I started doing all kind of stuff. And it was first time in my life that I actually did a past life regression. And that opened so many things in my life. Like, when you open this Pandora box, you cannot close it anymore. You just have to face everything, what's coming out. So basically, my values changed, my perspectives, they were so expanded, like they were so much broader than at the beginning. And I just felt like I really don't believe in this. I don't believe in human resources. I don't believe in selling people. I don't believe in, putting people like candidates in recruitment processes in this submissive or like subordinate position, that somebody is superior, and like that there are feelings of fear and like negative emotions that they are connected with recruitment processes. So fast forward, I gave resignation and I jumped into the digital marketing world, where I saw that, I would say like customer journey or customer experience. It's actually really, it's the same as candidate journey and candidate experience. So what I learned there is also that HR people really lack marketing mindset. Yeah. And basically, when I look back, and then I was fired, because company almost went bankrupt, but everything was just the way it needed to be. So then I ended up in another recruitment agency, and I was like, okay, I was trying to implement that kind of mindset, like new wisdom and stuff. But then after 6 months, I got I got fired because of pandemic. So I
Mhm.
lost my job, and then it was 2020, and I decided to start my own company. So in the middle of pandemic, I just like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this again. Like I can lose everything. I'm gonna risk everything. Like my personal life started falling apart, and like crazy stuff, like also in general. But I was so determined. I was like, I will do this. I will step um in different direction. I
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if I'm gonna make it or whatever, but I was so curious and so determined that it's possible. And yeah, 4 years later, I'm still here, Free Spirit Human Capital. And basically my company is I call it human empowerment agency for reconnection and transformation. And if
Yeah.
you see like the letters, it's heart, because everything is
Oh,
based on
I
heart
didn't
and
know that. Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's even makes it better.
Yeah, it's all about heart energy. And then the universe just brought me to heart math, and I became a activating the heart of teams trainer. Yeah, and really amazing things are happening because I'm just walking my talk. I'm just sharing what I see, what I experience with talking to people, what I experience talking to companies, and I'm creating this safe space for them to be like 100% authentic. And when that happens, yeah, a lot of magic can happen. So
Wow. So there's a couple things that I'm connecting dots here. I kind of knew what you were going to share just based on like energetically what I was picking on when I was reading things and just kind of meditating before we got on here. And I know we're talking about business things. We're going to bring this back for the audience. I know we're going to go a little bit deep here, but I think what you said is really interesting. And I'm curious on, you've been in this about 4 years, but let me give you a little bit of backstory. Let me frame my question here. So I've been on stage since I was 11 years old. I've been a professional musician since I was very young. So I've been around the world, and I've also spoken since I was 16, 17 years old, like in corporate settings and stuff. I started doing that. Now, part of that, and this will get to something I pulled off your website that just I loved. Part of that is one of my mentors his name was Paul Allen. Now, he was the co-founder of Microsoft. I didn't know him as that. I knew him as this cool guy played guitar. He had a nice house. All the Seattle musicians came over and jammed at his house. He had a yacht. And he created a music museum in Seattle. That's how I knew him. I didn't know the Microsoft aspect. But I did learn a lot of business acumen from him. And I was mentored by him from a very young age. Then some of my other dear friends and mentors were like Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle and Louise Hay. And you mentioned past life regression, and I did that with Brian Weiss. And so I understood the connection of these things, right? And so I've been going into organizations for years, talking to human resource teams, talking to sales teams, talking to any department. I'm coming in from this perspective that I think you're coming to from as well, where you hear, I know I'm prefacing this a lot, but I was so excited when I read something you said. You hear about the whole journey from the head to the heart. Well, I've been spent my life trying to help people realize, well, I'm in my heart. Let's get you there. Let's get you from the head to the heart now, because that's when you become powerful. That's like all the things that people fear and they think make them too vulnerable is actually where their strength is and where they're going to be truly empowered. So before I ramble on too far, you have a statement on there that said, we're human beings, not human doings. And then to reference what you said about headhunters were selling people like as a commodity, as a product. And I've always gone into companies to have people look at their staff, look at employees, and even look at clients and whatnot, not as a commodity or as a product, but look at them as who they are, not what they do. But in a world where we're literally trained to think about what we do and have our identity around that, it makes sense that we've become human doing rather than human beings. So I found that statement about long story short, to human beings and humans doing. So I want to hear your perspective on that, the human beings and human doings.
absolutely. So yeah, just to make it clear, like what exactly am I doing? On one side, I'm empowering people who are, yeah, I can say like who are going through personal transformation or who are going through spiritual awakening journey, like they are on spiritual awakening journey and they are longing for these changes, for career changes. And they get lost because maybe for like 10 years they were doing something, they were super successful. And then, at one point they're like, I don't want to do that anymore. What are my options? Yeah. But their identity is based on what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. like, who are you? I'm a marketing manager. I'm a CEO. You're so much more than that,
Yeah.
So basically, when I help people to, I would say, like, I empower them with the awareness that they are the combination of energy being and expert being. Yeah. So basically, everything what is in their CV, LinkedIn, or whatever, in their past working experiences and their hard skills and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one side. But there's also this human side, like energy being. And I'm using here amazing tool. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's human design. Human design is like for me is like the ultimate tool, to raise awareness about this energy blueprint. Yeah. So basically, it's really really cool. It's really cool. I'm not gonna say method. It's like a system,
Mhm.
but yeah, everybody can check it out. But it's like I really help people to integrate that. So basically, the combination of that, it really shows them who they are as authentic being, as
Yeah.
authentic themselves without any influence from outside. Yeah. So that's on one side. And I'm empowering people, with that knowledge. And on the other side, in companies, I come in and first of all, I encourage leaders and HR professionals so they are supporting employees and teams not only on their career path and career development, but also
Mhm.
personal and spiritual development.
Yeah.
And there are so many ways that they can do that. But yeah, we have to be aligned. We have to be connected with heart. Like if there's no heart connection when we start talking, when we start exchanging energy, then it's no use. Because I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm here to share, to expand awareness, and just to do it. So
Absolutely. I know that like one of the statements I've made in the beginning of talks when I've gone into HR departments and stuff is that they need to learn to work with people and within people. And that usually makes them stop like, wait, what did you just say? With people, I get that, but what does within people mean? And
exactly.
it enters like it's about creating that curiosity and leading them somewhere. So I love what you're doing. There's a couple things I grabbed too that I think were really powerful, and I'm curious on how you're bridging this because it to me shows two sides of where you're coming from. You kind of just spoke to that, but I'd love to have you elaborate. So one of the things I wrote was, or that I typed was that you said employees feel disconnected, companies struggle with genuine leadership, and both seek meaning beyond just monetary rewards. So we'll start with that one. Now I've been going into companies too to help them understand this aspect, to help them understand how to truly make a culture thrive. Right? Yes, they need to have skill sets that are continuously being polished and up leveling their skill sets. But there's that internal work that needs to be done, that development work. What are you
Yeah.
doing to help companies understand that? And are there any tools that you're bringing in or activities you're bringing in that you can share that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this, like on this point, heart math and activating the heart of teams program and everything what I learned there, it's like essential thing because it's amazing bridge between, I would say, science, yeah,
Mhm.
and like this, personal growth or like the content that I'm actually trying to, provide, that I'm actually trying to pass on to them. So it's like the thing is, like, we have to see the organization as an entity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It consists of individual energies, so basically, like entities, because each and every human being is also an energy being, and every single group, every single organization, it has this collective energy. It's collective energy field. And in
Mhm.
heart math, yeah, like what is really important, and everybody who is watching that, they can also ask themselves. So it's really important that us as individuals, we learn how to ask ourselves, what am I feeding the field? Yeah. So basically,
Mhm.
what am I emitting into the field? And when you come into the company and when you talk to people, and it's like you make them realize that each and every person in the company has this responsibility, what they are feeding the field, like this organizational field. And it's, oh my God, it's such a game changer because HeartMath did so many experiments, so many research,
Mhm.
like on this, and they are like, this is scientifically proven.
Yeah.
that our energy, like our heart emits an, like it creates an energy field, yeah, and it goes out of our body, like I would say like 3 feet or something like that.
Mhm.
In this energy field, there are emotions, there are thoughts, there are behaviors and stuff like that. And when people interact, they are actually, they are like this patterns, like these energy fields interact as well. So
Mhm.
you need to understand what is going on when people work together, and
Yeah.
how one person can influence on energy field of another person. So when you go on this level, it's like so powerful, Aaron. It's so powerful. And then you really, like, you realize that, of course, each and every person, in a way, it really influences on success of the company. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because like we are all creating this energetic field. But the thing is also, it's all start with leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the CEO and with the owner, because nobody can expect that the energy field, will be, super and vibrationally high or whatever, if the owners and, all other like leadership, they're not aligned. It's not possible. It's simply not possible, because there's no coherence. In
Yeah.
heart math, there is a coherence between mind and heart, and it always needs to be balanced. Like you cannot only like, oh yeah, heart, we all love each other. Yeah, it is, but we also have, the mind. It has to be, especially in business, it has to be in balance, because
Yeah.
like, we help each other.
I think you touched on the second half of my question too already. With it has to be the top down. Basically, you have to give the leadership. Now, I've been doing similar work that you're talking about for a couple decades, right? So let's go back 20 years ago when I was talking about some of these things, and I'm literally, it's deer in the headlights. It's like, like a dog will go like this when you talk to them. I swear to God, I had whole entire organizations like, what are you trying to say? Like literally, like just kind of confusing them, right? And it's becoming more and more, they're becoming more receptive. And the fact that you bring science in, I think, is massively powerful. That's not something I ever did. I had a way of helping them move them along, but I didn't have that connection point of science like you are. But the second half of what I wrote down was many professionals and organizations are experiencing spiritual awakenings, yearning for more than just conventional success. I think that's foundational. Now, my question is around this, and there might not be an answer to this, but this just arose in me. I'm wondering if I always look for the reasons why, right? And I know that from my perspective, everything does not happen for a reason, but there are reasons why everything happens, meaning that most people look for a reason and then they stop looking. It's more of a relief thing. So when I say I'm looking for reasons, I'm open to more reasons. And I just had somebody on 2 days ago who's talking about the next level of leaders and the next generation of leaders. They're younger. So they're embracing these things more. Now, I'm trying to get to my question here. Are you finding a harder time with older generations of leadership? Or are you not? Are you able to, is it literally something you're able to get into any age group? Meaning you got the old school leaders and then you have the younger leaders. Are you having any sort of, what's happening in that realm for you energetically?
That's such an amazing question, because, for example, I will tell you, like, on local level, yeah, here in Slovenia,
Yeah.
when I started talking, like openly talking about it, and posting on LinkedIn, there were a lot of people that were reaching out, but not only like it started, yeah, like also in Slovenia, but also from other countries, but they were like senior managers. They were like CEOs, or like owners of companies that they've been in business for 20, 30, 40 years or whatever. And they're like, oh my God, Anja, I so resonate with what you're saying, but I'm so
Wow.
afraid to say
Yeah.
that out loud. I
Yeah.
cannot express myself, and I really feel safe when you are talking about it. Can we hop on a call? And I was like, yeah, sure. But the thing is, people would like to talk about it. They would like to see that this becomes the new standard, because it is like that.
Yeah.
People are awakening. They are just not expressing themselves, showing themselves, because they still have, this, oh, what will other people think? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do next or whatever. So I'm so happy when I meet, somebody like you or any other person who they are they are on the same mission or like similar mission as me, just raising consciousness and the awareness in business world.
Yeah. This is we're literally coming up on 20 minutes. I think you and I could probably go for hours and we wouldn't even realize we were still going. So I'm gonna make a note right now that I want to have you on again in the future, because I think this is just the energy of the conversation has been amazing. And just so I don't forget, I want to remind everybody to go back and listen to this again, because we covered a lot. We covered a lot of different topics, and I can see the through line. I know that remind me how to say your name again. Anja. I forget the J. I get that mixed up.
I know everybody. Anja.
Anja. I know you can see the through line too. We can both see that, and both of us have a passion of bringing that internal perspective to companies, right, and to the world. So I want to say thank you for having me on, but I also want to give you just a moment. If there's any final thought or something you really want to make sure that you say today or share today, I want to pass it back to you for one more thought.
Well, usually what I say to people is like, your past experiences, your past working experiences do not define you. What defines you is who you are and who you believe you can become tomorrow.
I love that. We'll leave it on that note. Everybody, thank you for joining in again. Look for a future date, because we're going to dive into this subject again. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.